La Casa Museo de la Miel de Colmenar es una de las actuaciones más emblemáticas encuadrada dentro de los planes de dinamización del producto turístico de la Sarquía. En ella hemos invertido más de 350.000 euros que han sido financiados por la Diputación, por la Junta de Andalucía y por el Estado. Quiero manifestar públicamente nuestro agradecimiento al señor alcalde de Colmenar y al Ayuntamiento de Colmenar por haber puesto a nuestra disposición un edificio tan fabuloso como este. Y, por supuesto, también hacer extensivo este agradecimiento a la Asociación de Apicultores Malagueños por su colaboración y por su apoyo.
La Casa Museo de la Miel de Málaga es una realidad gracias al apoyo de muchas instituciones públicas y entidades privadas. El objetivo fundamental de este proyecto es dinamizar turísticamente tanto la Sarquía como el municipio de Colmenar, aprovechando los recursos naturales y endógenos que contamos en esta zona. Espero que todos disfrutéis del museo y podamos aprender todo de un mundo tan apasionante como es el de la miel. Muchas gracias.
Esta grabación de vídeo sobre la apicultura de Málaga forma parte del proyecto Casa Museo de la Miel, que se encuentra ubicado en la localidad de Colmenar. La Asociación Malagueña de Apicultores hemos pretendido con la grabación de este vídeo que puedan ver más de cerca el trabajo que realizamos, el fascinante mundo de nuestras abejas y los productos fantásticos que ellas pueden ofrecerles. Espero que disfruten de estas imágenes, espero que disfruten de la visita al Museo de la Miel de Málaga y, como no, espero que disfruten de las mieles de nuestras abejas.
If the bee disappeared off the face of the globe, then mankind would only have 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more mankind. Albert Einstein. The history of beekeeping started more than 8,000 years ago, as shown in the rock paintings found in Spider Cave, which is located in the Spanish Levante. In this cave you may distinguish a woman and a boy collecting honey from a rock, showing that men knew the benefits of honey since then. Beekeeping is an activity oriented to the study and production of bees. It is mainly developed in rural areas and therefore contributing to the establishment of populations in different territories. Forests and mountains receive considerable benefits from beekeeping. Bees have a very important role as natural pollinators of plants and cultivations, enriching land biodiversity. Beekeeping is nowadays migratory. When blooms are exhausted, beekeepers move hives to increase bees' productivity and, consequently, their pollination. For the management of the hive, beekeepers take protective measures to prevent themselves from bee stings. They protect their bodies with a light-colored suit, gloves and a mask. Beekeepers distract bees using smoke, which also prevents them from stings. The hive is a carrier that is currently made of wood and where up to 80,000 bees can live. The balance between each part of the colony allows it to survive and to prosper. In each hive there is a fertile bee, slightly longer than the other ones and in a more reddish tone, which is called the queen bee. Her main function is to lay eggs from which the worker bees and drones will be born. She is the one that lives longer and may live up to 5 years. Drones are males. They have bigger and wider bodies than workers, and when there is a shortage of food, drones are the first ones to be expelled from the colony. Their functions are to mate with the queen and to maintain the offspring and the hive's temperature due to the movements they make within the hive. There are several hundred bees in each hive, and they may live up to 5 months. Workers are female, and they always exceed the drones in number. There are about 40,000 workers in a hive, and on average they live about 45 days. The different tasks they perform will depend on their age. During the first days of their lives, they produce royal jelly to feed the larvae for the first 3 days, as provided to the queen bee during her whole life. Afterwards, they prepare food made with honey and pollen for the oldest larvae, but they also regulate the hive's temperature and humidity, produce wax, and build the combs. It is in the final days of their lives when they leave the hive and go to the field to gather nectar, water, propolis, and pollen. The pollen collected by bees contains a high percentage of carbohydrates, making it the ideal energetic supplement for the human body. The beekeeper gets it before he enters the hive, using a trap box that is located at the entrance. Its richness in proteins, minerals, and vitamin A makes this natural product an ally for our different growth stages and to maintain our health. Bees store pollen in the hive, whose center is always occupied with the different breeding stages. From the breeding center to the outer part of the hive, pollen is stored first, and then honey occupies the most external combs. Honey is the nectar of flowers and of other plants with sugary production. It is processed after having been collected by bees and ripped in the honeycombs of the hive. But not all honey is alike. Plants behave differently when harnessing soil nutrients and turning them into components of their organism. The local climate and the composition of the soil's minerals are aspects that affect the development of the flora. Thus, nectar composition will vary from one type of plant to another. In the environment of the hive, bees find flowering that will be a key aspect for the production of different types of honey. If the environment is dominated by a single type of plant, monofloral honey will be produced. If there is a mixture of nectars from different plants, multifloral or 1,000 flowers honey will be obtained. Beekeepers monitor and look after the storage of honey and ripening progress in the hive. And when honey reaches its peak, they take the combs out of the hive before they mix with the nectar of later bloomings, especially if they want to get monofloral honey. These combs of ripped honey are carefully removed to take them to the room where the honey is extracted, and once the extraction is completed, they are returned to the hive. For the extraction process, the beekeeper removes the seal of wax that the bee set in the cells with honey. He places the comb in an extractor and with centrifugal force obtains the honey. Honey is stored in tanks afterwards in order to produce a decantation. That makes honey ready for packaging. The different types of honey of Málaga are handily packed by beekeepers that have a health registration, so they pack the harvest of their own hives, usually in glass containers, whose weight is less than 1 kilogram, distinguishing those that are monofloral. As a general rule, lighter honey has more delicate aroma and taste, and darker honey is more intense in taste, less sweet, and has a higher content of mineral salts. An unequivocal sign of the purity of honey is that with the passing of days and due to its natural content, it crystallizes. There are large areas of low mount with Mediterranean blooming of excellent characteristics in Málaga that, together with the ideal climate of the province, make beekeepers in Málaga able to obtain high-quality honey. Depending on the flowering, 8 types of honey with different properties each one are harvested in Málaga. Polyfloral honey is gathered from the blooming of soil and coppice areas in the mountains of the province, where not any type of pollen prevails. It is harvested from late spring until the end of summer. Polyfloral honey has anti-inflammatory, digestive and healing properties. It is recommended as a sugar substitute. Orange blossom honey is obtained from the citric orchards of Malaga's coast. It is also abundant in the region of Guadalhorce and is harvested in spring. Orange blossom honey is relaxing and it is a sleep aid for children and elderly people. It is recommended as a sedative. Rosemary honey is obtained from the high vegetation thickets in sunny areas of the mountains. It is harvested in early spring. Rosemary honey is indicated for heartburn and stomach ulcers. It is recommended against physical and intellectual exhaustion. Thyme honey is obtained from the low bushes of dry areas where thyme is predominant, and it is more abundant in the region of Antequera. It is harvested in late spring. Thyme honey is indicated for respiratory affections and for regulation of blood pressure. It is recommended as a tonic against physical fatigue. Eucalyptus honey is obtained from sandy areas that have been forested with eucalyptus. It is harvested in summer. Eucalyptus honey is antitussive. It is recommended against cold and lung ailments. Chestnut honey is collected from mountain areas where chestnut trees have been planted. It is harvested in summer. Chestnut honey is rich in iron and tannins. It has a high content of pollen and a strong taste. It facilitates blood circulation and is recommended for asthmatics. Avocado honey is obtained from coastal areas where there are plantations of avocados, also abundant in Axarquía. It is harvested at the end of May. Avocado honey is rich in organic iron, has diuretic properties, and is recommended for anemia. Forest honey is a mixture of honeydew from species of holm oaks and cork trees. It is obtained in mixed areas of scrub and forest that are located in hills or in coppices in the province mountains. It is harvested at the end of summer. Forest honey is rich in mineral salts. It is recommended against anemia and dysentery. Honey composition has medicinal properties that have been known for centuries and are hard to find in other natural products. It is an energizer, an antiseptic, as well as a magnificent healer, and it helps the synthesis of calcium and magnesium. Therefore, honey should be an indispensable part of our diet.